What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and click that subscribe button. And I hope you like this video. Season 8, episode 15, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now look, tonight's episode, this review probably ain't gonna be too long because tonight's episode was it me? Shout out to Funky Dineva, or did it seem like every storyline was forced? Like the scenes were real awkward. People were like fumbling through their script. You know what I mean? Is it me or that's just how it came off to me? The first scene we see Pooh and Mimi talking, and Pooh talking about, that she still don't understand why everybody hates her and what the problem is. And Mimi was like, because people feel like you and you and Carly were really good friends, and if you would do that to Carly, then you would do it to them, and they just don't trust you. And then Mimi starts talking to her about what's going on between her and Ty and Stevie J. And basically, Ty's back from Israel, and she just doesn't trust Stevie J. She's like, Stevie J disrespectful. He doesn't take care. And her thing was, only time he come around is when it's time to work. And what I read between that line was, when it's time to film for Love and Hip Hop. It's the only time his ass is spending time with his kids. He don't call. He don't pay no child support. So Mimi's thing is, okay, but Ty, I know how. I'm kind of skipping ahead, but like I said, I know how Stevie J is. Like, he's immature, he's an idiot. I know it. At this point, I'm not going to stop him from having a relationship with his daughter, and he's gonna have to deal with the consequences of what he does. Like, I'm not gonna, oh, you haven't called in 3 months, so you can't talk to her today. Like, I'm not gonna do that. She said, I did sit down with him in faith, and things, we kind of worked some things out. And Ty's thing is, you let him manipulate him, manipulate you. Every time he wants a photo op or something, then you're there. And so Ty was like, look, I want to build a relationship with you. I want this to be forever, but I'm not going to keep dealing with Stevie J. Like, I'm not going to keep doing it. And Mimi was like, so what you trying to say? Like, are you saying that this is going, we can't be together? And she was like, I can't deal with this. Like, I love you, but I'm not going to keep doing this. So, Mimi's thing was, well, damn, I'm not going to let him interfere in my relationship. Like, I'm not going to let him do that. And so she ended up confronting Stevie J. And he did what he always does. It's a joke. He's laughing. It ain't no big deal. He don't understand what the problem is. And the thing that kind of set Ty off was when Stevie J, she posted a picture of her with the daughter. And Stevie put a caption on there, well, maybe y'all should adopt. Now, I'm on the outside looking in. I would not have necessarily taken it the way that Ty took it. I can see how she took it that way, but I would not have necessarily taken it that way. However, Mimi said that Stevie J does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and that's why Ty took it that way. Like, he sends Mimi these little nasty text messages about Ty and little smart ass comments, and so that's why she went there. Because I remember when this went down on social media, and I was like, dang, she really went off over something that wasn't that deep. But knowing that Stevie does a lot of little bullshit behind the scenes, now you kind of see, okay, there may be a little bit more to this. But of course, it didn't end well. Him and Stevie J and Mimi got into it, and of course he's laughing and shit. And Mimi's getting mad. She's getting madder and madder and madder, and she ends up storming out of the studio because that's where she confronted him. So no, not really no closure there. Then we see Jock. Jock is interviewing potential stylists for the restaurant. Now look, here's the dumb shit. You got women showing up and damn near naked, talking about they want to work at a salon. And Jock even asked one of the ladies. She was like, he was like, you dress like this for work? She was like, mm-hmm. Well, that should just eliminate you altogether. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't. It was just so obviously. It was ridiculous. Anyway, but supposedly he's interviewing people for the shop to try to get some stylists into the shop. He's like, and of course I couldn't do this at the shop because Sharona would have tripped out. She would have been cutting up. I wouldn't have been able to really get anything done or whatever. So then they get to Scrap De Leon, and Kirk shows up. And since when Mona must have made some deals with some of these designers, because if y'all notice, I noticed it in Trinidad, and maybe it was going on before. All of a sudden, they're blurring out certain designers and they're covering up certain labels and stuff. And I'm like, since when is that been going on? Because that's what they known for wearing designers and logos all over the place. So I thought that was very interesting that all of a sudden now they're covering up because Kurt had on a sweatsuit and the label was covered up. And when they were in Trinidad, they were blurring out certain designer names, and I just thought that was interesting. Anyway, that's just a side note. Back to the story. Um, Basically, they're talking to Kirk about. I mean, they're talking to Jock about you still trying to marry Kendra. When are you going to propose? And they were like, "Have you talked to your baby mamas yet?" Notice mama is with an S. And he was like, "Well, no, not yet. But I mean, they've met Kendra. You know, they cool with Kendra and everything. I don't see what the big deal is." And they were like, "Yeah, you might want to talk to them, just to, so they not blindsided with it. Just be respectful and just, get them on the front end of it. That kind of thing." Um, so Kirk talks a little bit about the fact that he don't really know how the conversation went between Rashida and Jasmine, and Rashida ain't really said nothing to him. And the guys are like, "Yeah, that ain't a good sign. Like, she ain't telling you how everything went. That ain't good." And Kirk's thing is, look, if they ain't saying nothing to me, I ain't saying nothing to them. It is what it is. Ignorance is bliss. He's like, I'm just gonna keep it moving. And then Scrap talking about things with him and Sierra moving. They moving really slow, but they moving. Kurt is doing one of his the seminars with him, Rashida and Shakana. And so Scrap was like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll invite Sierra to that. Just a little something, something. Maybe that'll be our first date or whatever." So that was the conversation with the fellas. Um, so then we see that Jock must have took something to heart, because Jock does sit down with his ex-wife and his other baby mother, Sienna, the one we met a couple of seasons ago, and he basically is letting them know that he's ready to propose. And they're not shocked, you know what I mean? But their thing is, we just want to make sure that you are ready. Like, don't do to her what you did to us. And they were like, "Well, how long you been?" Like, everybody is tripping off this timeline that Jock keep putting up. He's talking about something for 4 years. Sienna was like, our twins are 5. And after us, you was messing with Carly, Miss Piggy, and this person and that person. You didn't have 4, 5 girlfriends. How y'all been together for 4 years? And Jack admits it in his confessional that the timeline ain't really, you know, tight, but he knows that that's the woman for him. And they were basically like, we like Kendra, and it's all good with Kendra, but at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that you really are ready, and that you not, you know, and you not gonna play games with them like you play games with us. All right, so then we see Carly and Rashida. And Carly and again, this was one of those scenes that was just so awkward, and Carly's bad acting ass was forcing some tears and stuff. And she basically was talking to, and this is, well, I ain't gonna do that. Talking to Rashida about how bad things are between her and Mo. That since he gave the ring back, she moved out the house. They're not really talking. And she starts confiding in Rashida that, he was a little controlling, and that, she never said he got physical with her, but she did say that, um, he would talk aggressively, and she had a curfew, and how she was scared to say certain things, and she was afraid around him. And so, of course, Rashida was like, that ain't love, boo. That ain't what love look like. That ain't what it's supposed to be. And we're your friends. We're here for you. And she said, we have noticed a change in Carly, that she's not as fun loving as she once was. And, if it don't make you happy, it ain't what you need to be doing, type of thing. So then we see Akbar in the studio with Pooh and Pooh's husband Hiram. And Akbar was like, me and Sierra ain't cool. She was talking about my kids. I guess in that scene at the gym, Sierra said, I don't remember anymore. But she said that she talked about her kids. She said, and I thought that Hiram wouldn't want to mess with me after the way Sierra acted when we met up at the club, but he still wanted to he still wanted to work with me. He's paying for the studio time for me to do my song. Pooh comes in. Pooh and Akbar get to talking about Sierra and what happened at the Dominican Republic or Cancun, wherever the hell they went. And Pooh was like, basically she's like, BK came up on me. It wasn't that serious. I didn't think it was a big deal. She was talking about how they went in the Bahamas and how Tokyo and Shakana then ganged up on her. So of course Akbar was like, Shakana? What Shakana got to do with this? Me and Shakana, her ex-boyfriend is my baby daddy. And, me and her always had beef ever since then. And when we see each other, it's always a problem. It's always a problem. We need to run up on them. And again, this was another one of those scenes that was just so, to me, awkward. Like, you're forcing something. You're forcing a storyline. Because I'm like, first of all, your baby daddy that you don't have custody of, okay? And You more worried about Shekinah, who used to mess with him, than worrying about what you need to be focused on, which is getting your damn kids back and all this other stuff you say you want to do. But okay, whatever, Akbar. So they find out about the seminar and they're gonna run up on Shekinah at this seminar with Kirk and Rashida. So then we see Shekinah and Carly. And Carly again is telling her, that things aren't really good between her and Mo, and she's just not sure where everything stands. So Shekinah was like, look, I'm gonna throw Carly a little bit of gossip. So she tells Carly about what she found out at the salon about how, rumor is that Jock is messing with the girls down to the salon, and that's why things are the way they are, and that it's just a mess. And she was like, but don't say nothing. Now, good and damn well, telling Carly not to say nothing. You might as well just say, girl, tell everybody. Um, and in that moment, Carly really wasn't thinking about it in that moment, but you know. So we find out that Carly is having a graduation party. She passed her sexology test, honey. And so she's having a graduation party. And she has another little conversation with the girls. Erica is there. Remember, Erica was pregnant. She was very, very pregnant at this little function. And they have a little conversation, and of course, Mimi gets them caught up on what's going on with Ty and Stevie J, and Carly talks to them a little bit more about what's going on with her and Mo and everything. Spice is there and all that good stuff. Uh Then Sienna comes in. So of course, Carly talks to Sienna, and what does Carly do? Tell Sienna all about the rumors about what Jock doing or not doing down at the shop. So now you done gave it to baby mama, right? So y'all know where that's about to go. Y'all know how that's about to go down, So we'll get to that probably next week sometime. But that's pretty much that. Like I said, this episode, it was just a lot of, to me, forced scenes to create the drama for, I guess, the second half, or really should be almost done, but with the rest of the season to push the rest of this drama, because it just seems so forced. So then we see Shekinah doing her workshop with Kurt and Rashida, and they seem awkward up there answering questions. It was dry. Like, if I had paid for this seminar, I'd be mad as hell. It was just dry. You know what I mean? Rashida and Kirk was just like, yeah, so I mean, we just wanted love. We just want to work through our relationship. It's just love. It was dry. Scrap is in the audience. Sierra was supposed to meet him, but she done stood him up. She ain't there. And then who come walking in the door? Miss Akbar. And she said Pooh was supposed to meet her, but Pooh ain't show up. Akbar comes in. So they open it up. They open up the floor for questions. So Akbar gonna ask a question. She gonna say, well, what happens when your dude ex-girl all in your mix and giving you problems, your baby daddy, you end up having. So Shekinah looking at her like, why is she bringing up stuff from years ago? Like, she said, I didn't even know who this chick was until she started messing with my ex-dude, and I don't have no beef with her. Like, what is her problem? So then Akbar started getting loud and act like she gonna run up on Shekinah and fight Shekinah. Shekinah's sitting there like, and she stood up, but she never made no advancement. And so security gonna run up. Here goes Shekinah. I'm not getting ready to hit her and lose everything I got. I'm not about to do that. You ain't got to worry about me hitting her. I'm not going after her. I'm not putting everything I got in jeopardy for her. I said, I know that's right, Shekinah. That's the smartest thing your ass has said. Well, no, Shekinah pretty smart. But that's some smart shit. She was like, oh, no. Like, I'm not playing with this game with her. And so, of course, security ends up escorting her out. And that's pretty much where it ended. So, the episode ain't really give me a whole lot, y'all. That's what we got. Let me know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.